Hey guys, thanks so much for having us today. It's really been our pleasure to come by the event, and it's been so fun to meet so many of you. If you haven't had the chance to come by our booth, here at Soul Machines, what we're focused on doing is empathetic customer experiences through our digital people. What we do is we make emotionally responsive, autonomously behaving, hyper-realistic digital people that you can get in front of your customers for a plethora of different use cases, right? So I'm going to kind of break down that mouthful for you. 80% of conversation is nonverbal cues. So it's body language, it's tonality. It's so great that we can see each other in person now, because how much more impactful is it when you're able to engage with others face to face? You smile at our digital people smile back. When you're confused or upset, they'll be able to offer an empathetic response. Now let's take that over to the other side, autonomous animation and hyperrealism. The CEO of our company is Dr. Mark Sagar. He won a couple Academy Awards for his animation that he did in King Kong and most prominently Avatar. So here at Soul Machines, we know a thing or two about making some pretty realistic digital people. But over the last 10 years, he's been focused out of his lab in the University of Auckland, building out this digital brain and a digital nervous system to allow our digital people to act autonomously. And what is autonomous animation? We're the world's first autonomous animation platform. It means our digital people will interact with your banking customers in an incredibly human-like and realistic way. But it means from your team standpoint, it means super simple, easy, dynamic deployment that you can continuously change and alter, and the digital person will naturally follow along. So I have a few use cases and things I want to dive into to kind of get your heads around what we do. But first, I have a quick video example that I'll show of how an experience comes together, and I'll kind of highlight a few things along the way.
Hey Sam, it's great to meet you. My name is Brandy and I'm your branding mortgage expert. I love to talk about all things mortgages. In my spare time, I love watching the show Fixer Upper and designing my next digital house. You can think of me as your personal assistant throughout the mortgage process to help answer any of your questions. So, what can I help you with?
Great. I'm actually looking to refinance, and to be honest, I don't know where to start.
Well, I'm happy to help. I know the refinance process may seem complicated, but trust me, it gets easier. I've worked with a lot of people just like you. Just so I can make this as personalized as possible, I'd love to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's start with some quick numbers. I'll pull up my handy calculator on the screen to make sure you can see what I'm calculating. To start, do you happen to know your original loan amount?
Yes, it was $300,000.
Thanks. Now how about the term years?
It was a 30-year loan.
Great. Now how many years have you already paid?
10 years.
Great job. My favorite number. Okay, how about the interest rate?
4.5%.
Now, lastly, how about a balloon year?
What's that?
I'm glad you asked. A balloon payment is an oversized final payment that's due at the end of certain mortgage loans.
Oh, okay, that's helpful. Nope, I do not have one.
Good for you. Okay, so based on your current loan, you'll be able to save $47 per month with a whopping $49,096 in interest.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, an amazing person like you deserves an amazing loan. Do you mind if I email you the results just in case you want to reference them again? I'm always one click away.
Yeah, so you can see a lot of different interesting use cases, designs. That's an example of mortgage servicing. I think about the example, I was buying a house a couple years back, talking to my lender about mortgage interest rates. And then I'm talking to them about points on a mortgage interest rate. At that point, not only am I confused, but I'm so confused I don't know the question to ask to alleviate that confusion. So what do I go and do? Go to a lender down the street, because at least I can compare apples to oranges, right? Imagine if you had a digital person pushing hundreds, thousands of conversations through those platforms, being able to pick up on that confusion, and your team looks at that and says, hey, let's create a branch in the decision tree, and when Nick is confused, we'll alleviate or add on to that question, right? Another example, really interesting. We're working with one of Australia's largest debt collection agencies. Studies have shown, when we're asked about money owed, we're not typically honest. Somebody picks up the phone and calls me and says, "Hey Nick, you owe $10,000, can you pay it?" What am I going to do? I say, "Yep," and I get off the phone as quickly as possible. It's embarrassing, it's sort of awkward, and it's emotional. They've used digital people within that realm, and they've been able to be empathetic, but take the human bias out of the conversation. You say, "Hey Nick, I know $10,000 is a lot of money, but I can help you to refinance that. I can help you to break that down into payments that are more reasonable." And so, digital people have been able to be really effective in situations like that. A couple other areas we've seen success, things like call deflection. As I know many of you guys probably know, during COVID, you pick up the phone, you're on the phone with Delta, and you got about a 127-minute wait. You got a 10-minute wait. Can I text you a link to a digital person? Not only have we been able to deflect 30, 40, 50% of calls coming through platforms that way, but we're also seeing 30 to 40% improvement over CSAT and NPS scores. So some pretty exciting things in terms of driving customer satisfaction, things like customer onboarding, customer education, all huge areas for our business. And I'd love if you guys were interested in seeing more. I showed you a video demo today. Come on by, we'll show you a live demo, I'll get you some links. And if nothing else, Rachel and I are over at the booth, and we'd love to have a drink with you guys. So if there's one thing you take away from today, what we make here at Soul Machines, it's fun, interesting, outcome-driven conversations, and it can really make a big difference within the financial services space. Thanks so much, guys.